So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're having a class here, class 1, in which we have two variables, feet and inches, in a public, in a private. In the public I'm having a constructor. This is default constructor, this is a parameterized constructor, and this is a destructor. Let's see how they work actually. Constructor, destructor, and because they give up the addresses. So what should be the return type of the constructor? Nothing. What? Because it turns the object actually. So we don't have to specify what is the return type. And also with this. And also with the destructor. But for the compaction of a class, right? So class becomes compact. I'm not writing the definitions here. So these are only what? So these are only the prototypes. That means I'm going to define them outside the class. So when you write outside the class, that means you have to specify which class they belong to. And that we do by saying the class name and scope resolution operator, right? And then the whatever the function name is, method name is, that is my constructor name, right? Here I will do what? I will do cout. Okay, I am in default constructor, and my address is equal to this. So this is a pointer which gives us the address of the current object. The current object which you are talking of, right? The object who calls it, it gives the address of that. In fact, it gives the hex, so I should say int. Huh? So I will say here like this, NL. NL means new line. This means address of the current object. Yes. And int, I am typecasting it so that it will be the integer number, not the hexadecimal number, right? Okay. Similarly, I will copy this and I have to write now another constructor for this one, right? Yes, sir. So this is, we say the class name first, scope resolution operator, then whatever the method name is. Method name is again the one, and int a for b, and I will define it here, right? In fact, here I will say feet is equal to 0, right? And inches is equal to 0.0. Initializing it with the zeros, right? And one more thing is there, that this is a what? Parameterized constructor, and I'm having two parameters, A and B. In the prototype, not necessary to write this A or B. You can say only income float. That's also valid. Not necessary to say the variables, or you can say that's not an issue, but no, not need, because here in the prototype we only have to tell compiler that, hey compiler, that one of the constructor like this is gonna come in the future, and it will have two data types, one integer, arguments, one integer and one floating point. It's enough to tell the compiler, because it's to make compiler ready, right? So, because we are writing outside the class. So prototype is necessary only to warn compiler about this thing, that this function, so that compiler becomes ready that this method is to be somewhere down the road. So not necessarily write here A or B, or you can write, no problem. So I'm having here this thing, I define it here. So I will say feet is equal to A, right? And inches is equal to B. You getting me? Now I am doing what? That when I call it, this A, I have to pass it some values to the A and B. A will go to the feet, B will go to the inches. And then we have a destructor. We have what? In fact, that we show one more function. Say get data. Get. Now if you see get data, this is a method, right? but I have to specify what is the return type, so that is a void. If I don't write, that means it is an int, so I have to then return something. But if I don't want, this is not a constructor, this is a method, I have to specify what is the return type. Again, I'm writing prototype, I'm not writing inside class anything, so that my class becomes very compact, right? Void get data, so let me write it void get data here. So how should I write? First the class name, because which class it belongs to, is scope is an operator, okay? But first here the void and get data, the first should be the return type, right? Then the method name and its definition is here, because this is a single piece. We are saying get data belongs to the one class, therefore void shouldn't be between, huh? So what is return type should be first, and one get data, it's a single piece, we're saying following function, this function, and here I will see out what else, feet is equal feet, right? And L inches is equal to inches, maybe and L, and this thing I wrote it in 2 lines. I told you this is the white space are ignored, they have no use. It is as good as written in a single line, right? It's as good writing like this. It's the same, and this is called as cascading. We have cascaded this operator, right? Put to operator or extraction operator. Now we have a destructor. A destructor is what? Constructor is which gives you memory from the heap for the object. It creates an object. Memory is given in the heap for the object. A destructor? It frees the memory. It destroys the object. Right? If you don't write your destructor, C++ will provide you with the destructor. Right? So here is the destructor. So this is a destructor tilde and the class name. So I will define it here, but I have to tell you which class it belongs to because I am writing it outside, and which one it is. It is tilde 1. So I will say here that I am a destructor. I will see out I am destructor of object is equal to, again I am saying what is the address of the object, right? I will say int this, and yeah, right? Now if I call the one function and I make object 1, and you can see I'm not passing anything to it, so it's going to call
default class.
Then object 2, and I'm passing 2 values to it, 3, 5, or say 0.7. 0.7, right? So 0.7. Otherwise you take it as a dot operator, so it is giving a problem. And comma, this is my 2 objects, right? I am creating, let me create here object 2 also. Okay, object 2 comma, I know object 3 comma, this should be O, right? This is 0. This is object 4. I'm getting a lot of objects now. 1, 2, 3. These 3 will call
Default class.
and this will call,
Parameterizer.
and no need to call the destructor, it will be called automatically. But one more point here is that when you call the objects, the addresses are like in a stack, and they will be destroyed because when something is in a stack, you know, data structure.
Temporary memory in which we store the first one.
I will show you.
First three.
The stack is like a baldi. Stack is like this. The first guy which you drop is on पहला पलेट आपने डाला वो नीचे है, दूसरा डालोगे यहाँ पे, तीसरा डालोगे right? तो पहले कौन निकलेगा?
Last angel.
हाँ, लास्ट इन जो होगा दैट विल बी फर्स्ट आउट, लीफो, वी कॉल इट लीफो, और फर्स्ट इन लास्ट आउट, फाइलो, whatever you call it as a data structure, right? So same thing will happen with the objects, and we will see it here. Now run it. Hmm?
Get data को call, get data को call.
Get data call नहीं, वो दूसरी मसला है, लेकिन एरर यहाँ पे दिखा रहा है कुछ. अच्छा ये देखो, it is taking as a default function. It is taking as a function, normal function. Why? Because it's not the class name. O should be capital. It was taking it as a function, so it was taking the return type. Tell us the return type, right? Now you can see I'm a default constructor and my address is this thing. Now 3787, this is the actual address in the memory, 37879584, right? Then he is saying I'm a default constructor, again object 2, he's given 552 as an address, and the third one he's given address something like this. Now destructor, who is destroying it first? I should have said also the thing here. I have not put things with the parameterized constructor also. Parameter constructor जो था उसको भी हमें करना थोड़ा सा address. That is this one, right? I should say, huh? Because it's the last one. See out. I am a and my address is this. Now you view it. Now this is the 584, 552, 520, then 480. This is the address given. This is the address to the objects. Now who is being destroyed first? The last one.
Parameterizer.
Last in, first out, right? Then this one, 220, then 552, then 584, the last one. You getting me? Or I should also have called the get data. If I get data, ob1 dot get data, ob2 dot get data. इनका तो सभी इसका सेम ही होगा ना. ob4 थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट होगा, ob4 डॉट गेट डेटा. ob3 का भी वैसा ही होगा जैसे, इसमें कोई चीज़ नहीं है. Now and you could see the destructor is at the end. It's called at the, it will not be called before. The destructor is called at the end. Then it's going to say feet is going 0, 0, 0, 0 and 2 and 0.7 for the object last, right? And the last is destroyed first, and you could see that destructor is called at the end. You do all the program, and at the end destructor will be called. It's not like constructor called and after that destructor will be called. The destructor will destroy the object, so there will be nothing left. So it will be called only at the end of the program. When you have finished doing all the program, then it will be called. Getting me? Now you do have one thing.